enjoyed this week's episode, and please like this video, share with your friends and dockmates, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us get more viewers like you.
So now what we're going to do is fix some of these holes. Details, right? Details. If I don't need the hole in my boat, why would I just cover it up? So even though it's going to be out of sight, it may not be out of mind. So I'm going to patch some holes. So I've circled the ones over here that I'm patching. The other two there, those are going to be permanent go forwards. All of those I'm going to patch. All of those I'm going to patch. And these three I'm going to patch. So the method, well, I'll get set up and we'll go through the method again. It's good for a reminder for me and for you guys. So yeah, and then probably a little bit of sanding too, because there's like a little lip right here and right there. So I'm going to sand that down. Yeah, should be good. Yeah, so I'll go through the process. Let me get it set up and be right back. My nice fall day is turning into a early winter storm. It's not icy or anything, but it's pretty cool outside. Okay, but we're nice and cozy in here, and we're gonna do some epoxy hole filling. So here's what we got. So the first thing, well, I like getting everything out and set up, make sure it's all ready to go. So the first thing that we're gonna do is use this type of bit, this countersink bit, focus, and drill out our holes. So drill all those out. We do that so that we have a nice convex lip around the hole, so that more epoxy will stick into the hole. It gives it more surface area for the epoxy to bite onto. Then I'm just going to use some 100 grit, or maybe this is 80 grit. I don't know. 100 grit. Well, I think it's 100 grit. 100 grit to sand some of those high spots, and any like fiberglass wisps that break up when we do our countersink drilling. So once that's done, we'll wipe everything down with some acetone to make sure our holes are nice and clean. Once that's done, we'll mix up some epoxy. So this one is by weight, not by volume. So I've got my scale, and I put a little bit of this cling film on the scale to just protect it. You can still see the numbers through it, but your epoxy, if you happen to drip some, it won't mess up your scale. We've got cocaine because we're running out of steam. I'm just kidding. That's not cocaine. This is just some poly filling, poly micro beads. So I'll thicken up the epoxy a little bit so it doesn't run out all over the place. I've got my tongue depressors to stir my mixed epoxy for 2 minutes. I like breaking one of them in half to get a point like this so that I can poke my epoxy into the hole if I need. I have one of these to get in there and smear the epoxy and kind of squeeze it into the hole. This is new. I've tried these like small syringes in the past, but then I found this big bad boy. So he's kind of cool because he's really big, so you can pull out the plunger and stuff it full of epoxy a lot easier than these smaller ones. And there's this little tip that screws on and off, so I can clean this and use it for other things. And then it comes with a length of flexible hose, so I can kind of put that up against the hole and then squeeze my epoxy in there so it's nice and controlled. And then tape to tape the face of the hole to make sure that the epoxy just doesn't spill back out. So lots of paper towels, of course, and rubber gloves to protect us. All right, epoxied holes. Everywhere there's that blue tape. I've got thickened epoxy. All right, last project of the night. It started to rain, but we're cozy in the boat. So this board is what we have cut and fitted to go right here to support this tank. So I have the port side tank, the starboard tank, one of the floors here, and then this board. So I got like a nice working area. So what I'm gonna do is sand off. I don't know if you can see it really well, but you would turn the light like this. Like that. There we go. See these edges? Just a little bit rough from picking the board up and out, up, in and out, in and out, in and out of this area. So we're just gonna take our 120 grit and I'm just gonna clean up some of these edges so they're not so rough. Then, because we have all of our epoxy stuff out, we're gonna give it a coat of epoxy. So even though this is marine grade plywood, coating it in epoxy on all the sides, the top, bottom, the sides, like everywhere, that's gonna be good for us because we want a board that lasts forever. And the original 1/2-inch boards that we took out that supported the original aluminum tanks, they're like great. They're perfect. They're not, and they've been underwater. We bought this boat with the bilge kind of full of water, and a light skimming of diesel fuel on top of that water. But anyway, those boards had been underwater before and they're fine. They're perfect. I could, if I really wanted to, I could probably use them again, but I wanted to upgrade to 3/4 inch. But they had epoxy coating all over that board. So it was encased in epoxy, so any moisture just couldn't get into the wood fibers or the glue of the plywood. So we're gonna do that this time. So it's kind of a big epoxy job, but first things first, we shall start sanding. All right, y'all, we did it.